I'm Dave Zersen, and I'd like to reflect with you on another event that is found in the month of July on our church calendar, the Feast of Saints Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. You may never have heard of that feast, but it's one that recommends itself to us for some very special reasons. We don't know a lot about Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, but there are at least two stories, perhaps three stories, in the Gospels which are interesting and reflect on a familial character to settings in which Jesus finds himself, specifically the visit of Jesus to Mary and Martha and Lazarus in Luke 10, 38 to 42. And then again in John 11, Jesus is visiting in their home, and that's followed by the story of the resuscitation of Lazarus, the brother of Mary and Martha. And those stories together tell us a lot about the intimate relationship that Jesus has with some of the people that he knows, and they're rare stories, and I suspect that's why artists down through the centuries in many countries of the world have portrayed this scene, wondering what it really could mean to us. A good many years ago, I took 7 trips to Israel, leading students and pastors at times, and we were there to explore the Holy Land and sometimes also Egypt and Jordan. But one time I thought I was going to explore some things that were not on the typical travel itineraries, so I chose to take a trip by cab one day to Bethany. Bethany recommends itself to us for a variety of reasons, because it was the place where the Ascension took place. Palm Sunday procession started there. The house of Simon the leper was there, the home of Mary and Martha. And I wanted to walk that trail to see what it was like for Jesus, that 2-mile trip to Jerusalem, over which he once looked and said, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, I would have gathered you like a hen gathered her chicks, but you would not." As I walked that day, there was a dead donkey lying by the side of the road, and I thought, this is pretty first century, because there's no city officials that come by to haul it away. And I thought, beyond those rugged walls that lined the paths, this was not a road for cars or even bicycles. This was a kind of a rough trail, where Mary and Martha might have lived and what the setting might have been like that day when Jesus went to visit. Sometimes we get that setting all wrong, and we assume that because Mary was the one who sat at the feet of Jesus and Martha was the one who was too busy preparing perhaps a meal for the 3 of them or the 4 of them, and because Jesus said a couple of critical things to Martha, that Mary was good and Martha was bad. And that's the lesson we take for hostesses in our world today, or for the hospitality that takes place when we invite guests to our home. I think that's not quite correct. In effect, Jesus is saying to Martha, who is complaining that Mary is not doing her part, Martha, let's not triangulate me into this situation, number one. Let's see what we can do about this sibling rivalry which is existing between you and Mary. The problem is that what Mary is doing is bad, or that what you're doing is bad. Both of you are doing good things. You're focusing on me, you're listening to me, you're serving me, but you shouldn't be fighting with one another. And there's an important insight in that lesson for us today in the midst of our coronavirus world, where we are often sequestered in our family rooms and we have too many responsibilities foisted upon us, and we aren't sure how to take care of all these things, and sometimes we get in one another's hair and we get angry with one another. And Jesus might say to us in Bethany or in Wauwatosa, you really shouldn't be fighting with one another, but you should be focusing on the needs that each person has. And if we could be serving one another and not deciding what that other person is doing wrong over against us, we would all be better off. It would be the loving thing to do, whether in Bethany or in Wauwatosa. And I commend that to you as a thought from the feast of Saints Mary, Martha, and Lazarus.